Come back to me.
Look at Silver.
Whoa. What a course walk out of you, little... Oh, man.
I can explain. I can try to explain. Sonic the Hedgehog, released in 2006 for the series' 15th anniversary, is not a good video game.
Oh no!
Now, I think because it's bad, it's really fun to see just how far you can break it, and it's undoubtedly given me hours of joy in the same way someone could enjoy The Room and Goat Simulator if they were stitched together hideously. But I'm not here to set the record straight or say it's an underappreciated gem. You're just mean. You don't understand. No, it's,
Agent Shadow, E123 Omega has engaged Mephiles. Head to the Wave Ocean, head to Wave Ocean immediately. Agent Shadow.
It's pretty rough. But Sonic 06 is a special kind of bad. And I don't mean just how it obliterated all serious talk of the Sonic franchise in mainstream gaming circles for a very long time.
Sonic was never good.
Sonic 2006 is an incredibly ambitious game. Something that tried its best to push as many limitations as it could and deliver the greatest, most celebratory vision of Sonic that its developers could possibly imagine.
Yes!
Now, it missed the mark by an unbelievable amount in that department, but I think discarding the effort in trying to get there under a blanket of, oh, it nearly killed the franchise, is, well, understandable, but a bit of a shame. Mods like Project 06 have shown just how neatly thought out a lot of this level design was, and how just a bit of a lot more polish could have maybe gotten this game into working shape.
I guess I'm not at full power here.
But I'd like to dive into the other, less technically defensible part of the 06 pie. Its story. More specifically, I want to delve into the character most central to and most emblematic of Sonic's plot, failings and all. Princess Elise of Soleanna.
I'll do my very best.
So much stock was put into this character by the developers to help carry the message of the Sonic the Hedgehog brand. And all that can really be said post-mortem is laughing at.
Oh, what a lovely kiss!
More than Silver or Memphis, the one character that can be said to embody all of the wrong about Sonic 06 is Elise. And instead of just asking, what were they thinking? I'd like to look in the thought process behind the Regent, figure out what she was trying to do for the Sonic franchise, and at least try my hand at speaking in defense of Princess Elise. Princess Elise III was born to the Duke and Duchess of Soleanna, a blessed kingdom of the sun guided by their holy living artifact, the Flames of Hope. Losing her mother at a young age, Elise was thrown into a deep depression, so her father did the only logical thing he could. Experiment on the Flames of Hope to gain control of time and bring Elise's mom back and also erase all of humanity's sins.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Unfortunately, upsetting and dissecting the living fire prophesized to bring about the flames of disaster should the royal family lose their way causes the flames of disaster to be brought about, splitting the fire into its two components, the endless destructive power, Iblis, and the dark mind, Mephiles. Elise was nearly reduced to ash by Iblis's wrath, saved only by her father shielding her from the fiery blast, mortally wounding himself in the process. Fortunately, they screwed up so badly that two hedgehogs from the future were able to pinpoint this exact moment as when everything went to hell and teleported back using their time travel rocks. Silver the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog.
I'm the coolest.
Trusting these strange visitors, the Duke used the power of a Chaos Emerald to seal Iblis in his daughter's body and entrusted her life to Silver. Rescued from the burning base by the two time travelers, the battered and exhausted Elise was left far more than she was prepared to carry. the vague memory of silver imprinted in her mind, a blue Chaos Emerald gifted to her by Silver as a means to protect herself, the responsibility of the entire kingdom of Soleanna at just the age of 7, the Scepter of Darkness, a relic that Shadow the Hedgehog had imprisoned Mephiles in, imprinting his image onto the haunted specter eternally, and the parting words of her father, encouraging her, protecting her, and warning her that should they not be heeded, the flames of destruction will be released from inside of her and ravage the world.
Remember, be brave. Don't cry, no matter what happens. Otherwise, your tears will call forth the flames inside you. Become a strong queen who doesn't cry, no matter what happens. And live happily.
So, it's like Frozen, character writing-wise. But also Naruto, with time travel, and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Which is fine by me.
Years pass, Elise growing into a reserved but revered regent of Soleanna, still haunted by visions of Iblis drowning the world in a sea of flame. However, rumors of the flames of disaster eventually reach the ears of Dr. Eggman, who decides that having control over time itself would be a pretty cool thing. He could build a lot of Death Trap theme parks with infinite time.
Genius!
He strikes during the Festival of the Sun, Soleanna's holiest of ceremonies, seeking to kidnap Elise to learn the secrets of her power. And it's here where Elise first crosses paths with the person who will change her life forever.
I'm Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
Sonic is a fascinating character in his own series. Separated from the pure speed, spectacle, and skill that define how a Sonic game plays, there's one theme that Sonic emphasizes above all others: freedom. This is seen through his gameplay, avoiding tricks and traps to master any terrain and blaze through it.
Yeah!
His fights against his enemies, literally freeing animals and friends who have been roboticized by Dr. Eggman, and most poignantly, through his interactions with others. Every character who crosses paths with Sonic changes through his influence, showing them a new way of life. From Tails growing from a scared crybaby to someone wanting to show off his unique talents and achieve things on his own. Knuckles willing to open up just a little and have friends, rather than accepting a lonely eternal vigil as guardian of the Master Emerald. Amy going from a love-struck captive to a more confident and assertive woman wanting to do whatever it takes to help others. Gamma literally freeing himself from his programming to liberate his family from Eggman's control. Shadow finding his own identity by not shackling himself to his past and learning from it to give others a chance to be happy. Even Silver in this game learning to find joy and escape from his ruined future. Unless you're a diabolical doctor doubling down on the idea of taking everyone's freedom away to satisfy your own ego, or Big the Cat, who was always a perfect being. Letting Sonic into your heart will change you, and often for the better, encouraging you to pursue new horizons that you didn't find yourself capable of before. And it is exactly this change that is the entire focus of his story in Sonic the Hedgehog. The friendship and bond between himself and Princess Elise.
I don't believe it!
In spite of being the crux for so much character growth in others, Sonic's actual interactions with his supporting cast are rarely given the spotlight. Trouble keeps him running faster after all, so time spent with his friends outside of those directly supporting him in the main quest is kept to a minimum so he can save the planet from disaster. But after trashing Eggman's robots and saving the princess, Sonic is asked by Elise why he would go out of his way to save her, and he simply responds,
No special reason.
Sonic's quest in this game is just to rescue the princess as many times as it takes, because she needs help and he doesn't need any further reason than that. The actual plottings of Memphis, and most of the inner workings of the revival of Iblis and later Solaris tend to avoid Eggman entirely.
I can't believe this!
Sonic's laser focus in this game is on beating Eggman and saving Elise, making his interactions with the greater plot a detour, leaving Silver and Shadow to carry much more the surrounding narrative. In this game, Sonic has the rare opportunity to not just lead by example, but have slower, more character-focused moments in the middle, and use his attitude and philosophy to help someone emotionally who can't physically keep up with him.
Let's get going!
And the reserved, constantly locked away Elise is perfect for this. Elise carries a lot of baggage. The parting words from her loving father being a request for inaction and endurance, existing in the same place, in the same way, bearing all the world has to throw at her for the sake of her country. Standing still is not something Sonic can do or tolerate, and his radical nature and unabashed kindness toward others is able to inspire Elise and show her how to move forward.
When I'm with Sonic, I feel stronger somehow.
Once Sonic has rescued Elise from the clutches of the Egg Cerberus, she's able to shield him from harm with her latent magic abilities, feeling confidence in herself when he's near. When Eggman captures her again, Elise is emboldened by Sonic's actions, throwing herself off of one of Eggman's flying platforms with no assurance of safety other than believing that Sonic will catch her in order to escape the Mad Doctor. And when she and Sonic get the chance to be alone, Elise dwelling on her past and the heavy burden that's been placed on her, it's Sonic who literally pulls her out of her funk, encouraging her to start running forward no matter how hard or how frightening the future might become.
Nothing starts until you take action. If you have time to worry, then run.
Being with Sonic allows Elise to find strength in herself, not as the Princess of Soliana, but just as her, as a girl. And though she knows that Sonic will leave as soon as he sends Eggman packing for good, she'll cherish her adventure with Sonic forever. He taught her how to smile, after all. No matter how dangerous it gets, as long as she knows her friend is out there, she can keep going forward and tackle anything.
Nice smile.
But then Mephiles snipes Sonic right in front of Elise's eyes. And overcome with sorrow, all of the invincibility of freedom and progress being snuffed out right in front of her, witnessing the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, Elise cries.
No!
Iblis is freed from her body, merging with Shadow's dark doppelganger to become Solaris, and sundering all of time and space around him. The world has fallen to ruin, its potential savior dead. Everything has failed. But Elise is able to sense Sonic around her. Such a strong spirit never truly dies, after all, and with her urging, all of Sonic's friends and also Eggman scour the twisted timescape around them to find the 7 Chaos Emeralds. With all 7 reunited, Elise calls out,
Oh, Chaos Emeralds, gems of miracles, please heed my call. I wish to save this world. I wish to cleanse my father's sin, and I wish to talk to Sonic once again.
And with her heartfelt wish, Sonic is restored to life, supercharged, and ready to take down the God of Time with Shadow and Silver by his side.
Okay, the present day. The here and now that you've stolen, time to take it back!
And the three succeed, reverting time back to before the Flame of Hope was experimented on. Sonic and Elise looking over the god's fragile and pure form. Elise considers extinguishing the flame, preventing all of the catastrophes ahead. But doing so means that her timeline wouldn't exist. She and Sonic would never meet.
To tell the truth, I don't care what happens to the world.
Elise, just smile.
And Elise runs forward, and though she wouldn't remember it, the wind would always be at her back, supporting her and pushing her forward. This journey of self-discovery, of being inspired to keep moving even if it hurts, of having faith that those closest to you will find you no matter where you are, is the absolute nicest possible reading I could give of Sonic 06. But it's Sonic 06. These are a bunch of disparate scenes stretched out between a bunch of non-functional levels with stilted dialogue and weird pauses aplenty, taking itself incredibly seriously while missing out on all of that good Sonic cheese that prior adventure-style games had.
Let's go home to the planet as cool and blue as me.
It's a very ambitious character arc that would define who Sonic is incredibly strongly for generations. Butchered by poor pacing, poor writing, poor gameplay, and a weird insistence to turn the whole thing into a romance arc between Sonic and Elise. And I don't mean it in like a weird subtext, oh, you see how they're looking at each other, huh? Kind of way. Elise and Amy have this whole scene where Elise is like, oh, so I met this guy, but I'm nervous. And Amy is all, well, I don't know who he is, but you're hot and a princess, so go for it, cause he'd be lucky to have you. And then Sonic has this mini level where the forest popes are like, okay, we'll let you ride this cool eagle, but only if you tell us if you'd rather do it with Elise or Amy.
Sonic, I've been thinking about you a lot. I'll be waiting for you to the left here.
And the general subtext of the game is there, so it feels like the game wants you to pick Elise, and it makes this wink at the end of Sonic's story less cute and more, oh, they're going for it. And then the kiss is a lot less of a fairy tale princess kiss, and it's a lot more... Okay, look. Regardless of your feelings about this Roger Rabbit-ass relationship, I just think it's badly written, romantically speaking, and takes away a lot from Elise's arc. Like the whole thing just dominates the narrative of the self-discovery story, and that the game lets Sonic reciprocate based on the player's actions.
Sonic, I knew you would come.
The whole thing's just a mess. Sonic the Hedgehog is not a misunderstood gem. Bad game is bad. Very funny and fun to break and mock, but bad in a way of non-functionality that's indefensible to most. But there is an ambition to everything about it that makes it so very special in spite of its failure. It's trying to tell not just a grander story than most Sonic games tackle, but a more personal one as well. If Sonic 06 had succeeded, if this character dynamic between Princess Elise and Sonic could have been seen as reflective of how Sonic makes players feel, if this was the intended next step forward to catapult Sonic back into the spotlight as one of the titans of video games, who knows what the future could look like. And while he went down in flames, ruining all he touched around him, Sonic still keeps moving forward to this day, no matter how rough it's gotten. With the recent release of Sonic Frontiers, we've seen Sonic be able to have the same kind of soft, thoughtful interactions with other characters as he's been granted with Elise. And though every bit of writing for Sonic is divisive these days, and I think the pacing is really off, I like it. I like taking the chance to use Sonic as a character for others to grow from, and letting him focus on fostering that and helping him push his friends forward, rather than just inspiring them to catch up. Now, I'm not saying we have Elise to thank for that, but the drive to make it happen in 2006 was strong, and I like looking at beautiful failures. They show us both how it could go wrong and what we can learn from it if we want to push forward. Plus, she got this nice Sonic Channel art recently, and she looks nice when she's not an uncanny humanoid with lanky Kong arms for legs. I'd like to not try to remove this game from my memory, admire the ambition that crashed and burned, and to some extent, be able to speak in defense of Princess Elise.
How was that?
You know, it was alright. It wasn't great. Definitely won't recommend.
1.
Yeah, 1.